So in today's sourcing session, we've got Ben with us. Hi, Ben.
Hi, Emily.
Ben sources in a really interesting way. He flips Amazon deals. So he buys stuff on Amazon to sell back to Amazon, which is massive in America, but quite less used in the UK, I think. So how do you do it? And what's the advantage of it?
Yeah, I learned this sort of method from a podcast. Like you said, someone in the US. So I think the advantage here is you can buy products that Amazon obviously sell. They're already listed, and the great thing is you buy them at quite a heavy discount from Amazon. You bring them in, and then you sell them on when the price goes back up. Often Amazon are clearing product. They might have small overstocks. They might be matching prices elsewhere. Sometimes it might just be a pricing error that's driven the price down. So you get a chance to sort of jump in, grab the stock, and then list. Often as well, you find that there's limited other sellers on that SKU, on that ASIN as well. So you're already at quite an advantage.
Are there any massive no-nos? I think I'm right in thinking you can't buy Prime. Is that right? If so, I've got a Prime account. How do I do it? Do I have to turn that off or get a friend to do it?
So you can't use your Prime account, or you can't use the Prime account advantage of the fast delivery for anything that you buy from Amazon to then resell. So actually I use my wife's account, so we just have another account that's not Prime registered at all.
You don't get trouble for that. There's no issue with that.
I don't, as far as I know, no, that's absolutely fine. We've always had separate accounts anyway, so it's not like I've set up an account just for this. I have a Prime account on mine, and she has non-Prime, so I just use that. And she's registered in the business, so it's not like.
So they know about it. So if they wanted to, they could quite easily pull you up if it was something that wasn't supposed to be done.
Yeah, exactly. And she's linked to the business, so it's not a case of buying it from someone that's not linked to the business and then sort of selling it on the business as such.
So it's sort of allowed, but not something they shout about. Is that a fair way to describe?
Yeah, as long as you don't use the issue I found was that I struggled to turn off the Prime delivery on my account. Yeah. So I think even if I did use my account, if I had some way of turning off the Prime delivery, that would be absolutely fine. The rule is that you're not allowed to take advantage of the Prime benefit.
And that's quite a strict rule, isn't it? They do come down quite heavy on that. Yeah, they're quite tough on that. Awesome. So we've got Keeper up. That's how you start? How would you go about finding these flips? I mean, are they free all the time? Are they quite rare? How?
Yeah, so they're quite rare. Or at least the ones that you want to jump on are quite rare. It's a very specific price drop that you're looking for, and a very specific. So for example, it needs to be a good selling product that has quite a stable price.
Yep.
And then you jump on it as that price drops, and then you're expecting it to go back up, usually within hours or within a day.
Oh wow!
So they're quite rare. I may find a couple a month that I jump on, but they're very, very lucrative. So I often hit 70 plus, even 100 plus ROI.
Wow.
And the products that I'm buying, so often clothing. Again, I'm making 50% profit as well on them.
Not bad. Yeah, that's good. So how do you go about? What filters do you run? So I've got a standard. So first of all, you have to have a paid keeper. Is that right? You can't do this on the free one.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, you need to pay for keeper. So on the left hand side, you've got your different filters. So the choose deal type, you're looking at Amazon, because you're just looking at Amazon reductions. Your limit drop interval is days, so you want to make sure that that's just a change that's happened just recently.
Oh, okay.
And then selected range. So I'm looking for like quite a heavy discount and price drop. So I go to 50 to 80%.
50 to 80%.
Yeah. And we can talk. There are some other ways of using it afterwards. I can briefly touch on that. But for my main flips, it's 50 to 80%. I tend to leave the rest as is. Sometimes I use the sales rank range.
Smaller budget, could they lower the budget, or does that have a massive effect on it?
Yeah, you could do. Obviously, if you change those, then obviously you're going to be looking at much lower price product. Often when I do buy them as well, you have to invest quite a bit of capital. So, for example, when I buy shoes, I may be buying 30 or 40 pairs of shoes. So, you know, at £20 a go, that's, you know, quite a heavy investment. So you can adjust those ranges.
Just a quick one on that. I always worry about shoes for sizes and stuff. Do you get lots of returns? I mean, people kind of usually know their shoe size. I'm more worried about jeans or tops or jumpers and what.
Yeah, so
I've never sold.
It used to be a problem. So the biggest problem I found was last year when I was still involved with EFN.
Yep.
It was you had to pay a lot of money for returns if they were sold abroad. So if it went to a customer in Germany and then was returned, there was quite a heavy return cost. For the UK, there doesn't seem to be one. So often there is one, but it's much smaller. So I'm not getting impacted as much. Sometimes I would be getting hit for £10-15 returns.
And do clothes have a higher return rate than other? Right. Okay.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah.
You didn't accept it.
Yeah, but I mean, one of the biggest advantages is that you're selling products that Amazon already sell. So the detail page is accurate, the descriptions are good. You know, they often have feedback on the size, you know, does it fit correctly, etc., etc. So there's a huge advantage of using their product detail page already. So I think that helps and reduce. Funnily enough, I do get often when there are high returns, I do get a comment from seller support saying your product doesn't look to be set up correctly. Can you make amendments? But consider I'm actually selling Amazon's product, then yeah, they need to improve it themselves. So so yeah, there are high returns. So you do need to take that into account.
Okay, but it doesn't not enough to put you off. Awesome. Okay, so what do you worry about sales rank? I'm a big believer in not worrying about BSR. It's the least bothered thing I have. That didn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, I do put something in there. I tend to sit my maximum sort of 600,000-700,000 just to filter out the real sort of non-sellers, where, you know,
50,000, 600,000.
600,000. Okay. So yeah, that's fine. I usually use that.
Okay.
Yeah, and then finally, sort by is by sales rank. So I just want to see the
9, or do you want them in reverse? Yeah, that's the right way around, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I just want to see the top sellers.
And then reload deals.
Yep.
Drum roll. But we pray there's something comes up.
Right.
Find deals.
Yep. So 740 deals.
Up here. Okay. So what would you look for now? Is there something that you would specifically look for, or?
Yeah, so I think over time I've sort of learned certain things to avoid instantly. So for example, when it comes to clothing, there's a lot of Amazon branded clothes. So for example, shoes, Find are a Amazon own brand. So I can't flip those, or I stay away from those. Also some of the other clothes they have certain Amazon branded.
I didn't even know Amazon had their own brand. Oh, that's
yeah. So their own brand label for clothes and shoes. Okay,
so I'm just scrolling down here for stuff that's not Find.
Yeah. So it's often
that. What does that look? I don't even.
Yeah. So when I find a product that looks interesting, the graphs can instantly give you a visual. So yeah.
Example.
Yeah, so this is potentially an option. So what you've got here is you've got quite a stable price up until beginning of the year, and then it's dropped down a bit. But what you can also see is that the sales are good across the year, even when the price was high. So it's not massively price driven as such.
This drop is enormous. Look at that.
Yeah. So the only thing here is that it has been dropping recently, so there's no guarantee that price will go back up to a stable price that makes it worthwhile. So
what jumps up to me is there's only been 2 sellers. Does it worry you that there aren't many sellers? Is that quite normal in a flip?
Yeah, so normally I often buy a product where I have had ones where I'm the only other seller once I've bought them, and then I have others where I might be the only other FBA seller, so there might be a few.
Any IP issues or anything?
No problem so far. I did have Clark's shoes last year. When I bought them, there was no IP restriction, and I was selling them for probably a month, and then I got a note saying Clark's are now restricted. So unfortunately, I'd sold through most of them by then.
You can't do anything about that when they come on after.
No, exactly. Yeah. So I just had to put them out. They're now for sale on eBay.
So what do you look? What do you follow? Which line do you follow? The buy box line or the Amazon? Because Amazon don't look like they're going out of stock. That's the other thing. There's no the line's unbroken. So
yeah,
and how you'd sell it.
Yeah, so as I said, this one would be a little bit concerning that they have, for the last 3 months or last couple of months had the price drop down and it hasn't bounced back. Ideally, what I would have liked to have seen is that top line continue. So this, I probably wouldn't look at this one.
Okay, anything else?
As I said, they're quite rare to come up, so it's not a case of every time you view it, they're going to instantly sit up. But I mean,
exclude find. Is there any way? Can you do an exclude thing, or do you just?
No, I mean, if you run to at the top, they have the filters by category, so that's often what I do. So often I'd have a quick scan through just to see if there was a brand. For example, I bought Skechers shoes. If they had a range of, because every size repeats on here, so if I saw several images of the same shoe from Skechers, that would be a good sign that they are discounting the whole range of
in the sales rack in a shop. Is this a bit like going to the clearance rack? Like basically like an online version of a clearance rack?
Exactly, yeah. So nothing on sort of first glance stands out as like a.
They all seem to be find, which is like prices. So here's Pampers. What does that? Because Pampers, obviously a lot of us sell Pampers. They're fine.
Yeah.
They're not actually nappies. They're swimming nappies.
Swimming nappies, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So not normal nappies. So what do you think to this one? Now, interestingly, so if I come out of that, this is no longer like bright coloured. This has gone like pale. Does that mean it's no longer there?
No, I think it's just because you've clicked on it once.
Okay.
I think it's just once you've clicked on it once, it goes like that.
So what do you think? Look at that drop there. That's what you're looking for, isn't it? Where it dipped.
Yeah, exactly. So you're looking for where the price is fairly stable. It does drop off.
So it dropped off for what? Like literally less than 24 hours. Looking at that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then you're looking for that price to go back up, because that gives you a chance to jump in, buy at that price. Price goes back up. You can either then just sell at the same price as Amazon, or you can go a little bit lower and see if it sells through.
So if Amazon had like 50 of these in stock, you could literally buy out 50 at like £6.29, wait till tomorrow and relist them at 42.
You could do. There's a slight issue that Amazon often restrict the volume you can buy when it's discounted.
Okay.
So you may be restricted to 3 or 4 units. So things like this may work, may not. But certainly I find that when I buy shoes and clothes, it's a case of buying 3 of every variant and that's it, because you are restricted.
So you have to treat it a bit like boots. It's a bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. That's still good though. You're still making an absolute ton. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Awesome.
So once I've had a quick sort of visual scan, what I tend to do is I tend to just jump up to the top of the list that you had.
Yeah.
And then I start to filter by categories. So it just gives you a bit of a better focus and filters out all of those clothes that are no good. So there you go. If you just hover over the item, you'll tend to see the graph pop up. So again, you're looking for that's no good.
See stuff like this you could buy in advance if you were forward thinking, because obviously now it's March, it's not huge, the weather's better, but it's still cold. This could be something that would fly out in May if you had the budget to hold it.
Yeah.
And that's okay. That's a good.
So what's that? Yeah, that looks like it might be.
Okay.
Yeah. So that looks potentially interesting.
Fishing kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah. So regulated for a gas hob. By the looks of it, or a gas bottle.
What do these dips mean? So are these dips good dips or bad dips? Or?
Yeah, so they've dropped the pricing. I mean, we need to have a look at the sales. The sales don't look huge. I mean, it's only in the sort of 7% sales ranking, so it doesn't sell it.
Bit here, the statistics, or do you not? Is that not really?
Yeah, I do look at that. So there's potentially sort of. I've always been a bit confused. I think you actually put a post about this, about which one of these actually is the one to look at.
And the answer I got back from Keeper, I tried like 3 times and I just didn't get an answer. So Jess mentioned this actually, and can't quite work out what the difference is, what the sales drop is, the sales rate. We don't 0.7. I don't know what that means. None of us know. So I don't think it's a good answer.
Right.
So okay. So it says it sells 3 a month. I mean, we know that BuyBook Pro and SAS and stuff underestimate. Do we assume Keeper does the same?
Yeah, I usually do. I mean, what I would do is on this. So if you're looking at it, you can see that there have been sales. The price at the moment's dropped to $9.95, and if you look at the average if you hover over the buy box, you can see the average is what, $18.33 over the last 90 days.
Do you 90 or 180? What do you prefer, big spread or?
I tend to look at the 90 days just to give me a better indication of what's happening at the moment. So yeah, in theory, you could then buy that for £9 and sell it for 18. So
how does it?
It's potentially I may just fire that up on Amazon, just have a look at SAS to see what it's actually doing.
How far back do you go? Because this listing is actually, look, about 40 quid when it first came out. This listing is for 5 years or something. So it's only really been popular recently, I suppose. And actually it's been stable. The top's been stable all the way through, even to date. So that's I quite like the look of that, to be honest.
Yeah, and like you said, it's coming in. We're coming into summer, so actually now's the time that you want to be sitting on products like this. So,
would you use this as a reverse source to now go and find that to go and add in your inventory? Would you use this as an idea to find other items?
I haven't, but it's a good idea. Yeah, I mean, you could. I mean, what I have done. I mean, so specifically for Amazon flips, I have often then gone in and found variants that also worked. So you might have the same, because this looks like a top for a gas bottle or something like that, an adapter. So you may go in and find that they actually have the same adapter for different types of bottles or different types of hose and things like that. So, and actually they may be on the same sort of discount. So occasionally you do find other, if you go a bit deeper.
So these often come with like a cover. Like you get a barbecue cover, you can get a hob cover like this, a fishing cover. So you can do accessories and things. I think this is a great starting point to kind of grow your. Yes, it's under barbecue hoses and regulators.
Yeah.
Excellent. So anything you'd look out for in a graph? Does it bother you if it's like quite a new listing or an old listing? What do you look at?
Yeah. I tend not to go for anything too new. I want to see some history on it. You need. As I said, you need to see a stable price at some point. So, often what you'll find some items here, we may see one as we sort of look around, but you may see that it looks like a great deal and the price is a huge drop, but you've seen a stable price. The price actually shot up for some unknown reason and then dropped back down again. So, there are lots of price anomalies that Amazon come up with. They don't, it's all run by algorithms in the system. There's no one there that actually keys in the price.
Really, really high doesn't mean it's going to go back there. So that can be as quirky as the low. So
exactly, yeah. This is a possibility.
You might for a month. Like this is the last month of the data. It looks really, really stable. Actually, like that. Yeah, I would have buy one or two to put in, but it's good. It's interesting. So just a quick one. When you look at your BSR, do you just look at the big category? Do you ever kind of look down like for example, would you find the 1% in barbecue hoses, or do you not bother going down that niche?
No, I tend to just look at garden and outdoor on this example. I wouldn't go any deeper. I mean sometimes if you see it and it might be 4 or 5% in garden and outdoors, but is in the top one of that subcategory, then that does add a little bit more weight to it. But I wouldn't specifically go and look for that.
I think BSR is a funny one. People either give it loads of value or just don't even look at it. It's weird.
Yeah.
So okay, let's have a look at one more category. What about, I quite like home and kitchen. I think it's quite
okay.
I like all the quirky things like this. Right. So what would draw your attention here?
So the best thing to do is you go back up to the top. So they're sorted by sales ranks. If I literally just hover over the image of that frame. See, that's an example of something that's just not going to work, because you can see that the price just shot up for some reason and then has dropped down. So that's no good.
So that's not a natural high, is what you're saying?
No, exactly. Yeah. You can see that historically it's sold much lower.
So you almost discount that, and you're actually just looking at this.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just gone back to the normal. It's gone back to the price that it has been in the past. It's not a.
And would you go back any further than a year? Is that enough to get you? Because I think we're nearly in the year from COVID. So that I used to have to open my Keeper graph quite a lot to get rid of that anomaly, but now that's been and gone and passed. So about a year is quite a good Awesome. So what about, I mean, do you worry about saying like duvets and stuff? Do you do those? I don't really sell them very often.
No, I mean, I wouldn't touch duvets. I mean, they're usually pretty big and heavy, so getting them into Amazon's going to be quite costly. It's, you know, etc. You wouldn't get many in a box. You know, probably only one.
So that was an average of 90 and now 28. So you've got to look past your money. You can't do the cartoon thing where you get your dollar signs. Just because it's a massive drop doesn't necessarily mean it's a good thing to sell. Is that right and fair? See, I wouldn't sell a rug, for example.
No.
This is all right. This is little. What's this?
Yeah, and that looks like it might. Let's have a look.
What is it? What is it? Non-stick.
It's a cake mold.
Oh.
Yeah, cake mold.
Yeah, okay. You can tell I bake a lot. I thought the thing in the direct and then you put in the sink that collects all the rubbish when you wash up. Okay, oops.
Yeah, so I mean that's got potential. Again, I mean, if you look back at like last year, it was selling around what, £28, and it has got sales against it. It's gone down to 13.
So for the new people, when you say sales against it, how do you know it's sold?
So the green line on the chart, you've got lots of dips.
Okay.
So every time it dips tends to be a sale. So you can see that there are dips as we've gone along at that price.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, you know, more people were stuck at home, and probably a lot more people were baking and things like that during lockdown. But yeah, I mean, this is a potential.
See, 14, you can get it for 14. It went back up to. So the question is it going to go back up, or is it kind of? And Amazon were completely out here, which is interesting. They had no stock for a little bit there too. Yeah,
and I mean the good advantage of this is that because you're buying it from Amazon, you have the same returns rights. So, for example, if I looked at this and thought, you know what, I'm going to buy a couple, 2 or 3 maybe. If you buy them today and then once you get them, you go back in and look and the price is still low, you can just sit on them for a little while. And if that price doesn't go back up in sort of 2 or 3 weeks time, you can just return them.
And Amazon don't mind you returning the bits and bobs.
You're just a standard customer to them. They don't really know any different, or you know, they don't know why you're returning them. So I've just done that recently I spent £700 on bras back at the beginning of February. Price didn't go back up, so yesterday I sent everything back. So
that's the issue with RA. You can sometimes take it back, but sometimes you can't. You've got to stand in a long queue. They ask questions. Amazon, you've got the same no quibble returns. Oh, very good.
Yeah.
So okay, so I think it's probably time to wrap up now. But any kind of top tips of things to avoid or to look for? So I think from what I've gathered from you is don't just look at the money. Just because it's a massive discount doesn't mean it's a good product to sell.
No, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So you're not. There may, there's 700 deals on there, but to be honest, if you're lucky, every time you look, you might find 1 or 2, and that's if you're lucky. You are really looking for those. It's a product that sells. It's got a stable price that looks like it will go back up to that price from what you can see in the history, because that's what you want to do. You're trying to grab it at that moment in time that it's dropped. Hopefully, it's only for a few hours or a couple of days, and then you're gonna jump back on that.
The shorter the drop, the better, because the less people will jump on.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. The shorter. I've gone on there sometimes, and the price has dropped for literally an hour, if that, and then it's shot back up again. So if you can grab it at that moment in time.
But don't ponder on it. Don't go away, think about it, make your dinner, amuse, grab it if it looks good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but it's something that it's not a primary sourcing strategy. It's something that you can just do on the side. You drop in, once or twice a day and just have a quick look. Once you get used to it, you can scan the deals in a matter of 10 minutes.
Oh wow.
And that's it. Yeah. Once you get used to hovering over the image and seeing the graphs, you can almost discount instantly once you get used to what you're looking for.
Yeah, but I think it's just another, it's like you said, another strategy. So you can do it on top of your RA, on top of your OA. It's just another, I think it's got quite a fun thing to do too, I think, because you can open up loads of different categories that maybe you wouldn't find if you're using the same retailers.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you very much for your help and advice on that. It's been really interesting, actually. I'm going to go and have a look and see what I can find now. Awesome. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Take care.
Good to speak to you. Okay, bye.
Bye.